Alliancing. Alliancing is part of something called collaborative approach. In Australia, alliancing has taken over from partnering and early contractors' involvement. So what is it about? We mainly talk about an entity which is going to be a group by the client himself, contractor, and the consultants. These people will work together to make sure that they have all their objectives aligned to achieve one goal, is to finish the project on time and within the budget. It could be client and contractor, it could be client, contractor, and consultant. In general, it is all of them. Generally speaking, any arrangement should be between all of them. Fine. So what standard form of contract do we have for alliancing? Actually, in Australia, we don't have a very specific standard form of contract for alliancing, but we have something from the government which issued guidelines, templates, how to do alliancing. So how we do that? Mainly, we need to create the team, and this team from, like, we get 2 from each side, client 2, consultant 2, and contractor 2. These 6 will be the leading team, and they have to take the decision together. The 6 must take one decision, all of them, in order for any decision to be implemented on site. And under them, they will have their management team, and all of them are working together to achieve one aim of the project. Now, the features, just in general. So we talk about joint decision making. All of them must approve the way forward. The problem is where one of the entities is not happy with the decision. If they're not happy with the decision, things will start to get into adversarial mode. So we think that it is very fruitful and alliancing is a very good tool, but apparently if the decision is not taken by everyone is happy with the decision, things may not go right. So we may get into difficulties in the area. And what is surprising, actually, that we don't have a dispute resolution clause. So if I am the client and you are the contractor and you're not doing the job, and I'm asking you, do the job. I don't want to do the job. You cannot penalize me because there is no dispute resolution clause, and it is alliancing. We have an issue with alliancing that because we have no dispute clause, you cannot sue them in terms of negligence, in terms of poor performance. You cannot do any of that. You cannot do any of this under the alliancing agreement. I'll show you some other remedies that we face. So how the payment is done in this particular procurement route. So the contractor and the consultant have guaranteed payment of their costs. So whatever cost you spend in this project, whether the project is failing or succeeding, you will be guaranteed to receive your net cost, whatever cost you got. So the client has to pay. So who's going to share the maximum risk? The client, because he's going to pay. Whether the project is going to be successful or it will be a big miss, he has to pay these people, everyone, even if they're not performing. Okay, see how difficult it is. And the only thing that these people could be disciplined with is their margin. You remember the margin, like the fee? So on the top of their costs, it is an open book scenario, of course, because it is collaborative. Everything should be on an open book scenario that you can go and check the accountant file and see everything. So if the margin is 10%, the only thing that can be taken out if the project failed is the percentage, your profit and overheads. This is the only thing. So this is the only incentive for the contractors and the consultants to do well in the project, just to make sure that they will protect their overheads and profits. If they don't do well, they will lose this incentive. Okay, so this is the gain and pain share regime. If the cost is, the total cost will be less, then they will share the gain. If there's more, the only thing that will be shared is the cost of overheads and the profit of these people. Okay, so this is what you need to know about. So is it really for real that alliancing is not going to give the client better value for money? It has been advertised so many times that alliancing is the best for the clients. But apparently the client is a major risk that, you know, if the project is finishing, if the budget was 200 and you finish with 400, like what happened in Federation Square, so what is the client remedy? It's only what? The overheads, which could be only 20. And he will be required to pay or to compensate the others, the 180 millions. So is it really a good thing to do? Yeah? You need to think about that. Why? Because at the end of the day, the client can sue the contractors and consultants. How they do that? If you do something purposely that you don't want to listen to my instructions, you don't want to come to meetings, you are neglecting all my instructions and you're not behaving and you misconduct yourself all the time, at that point of time, you can sue that party. You can take them out from the Lansing agreement, and they have to compensate you against damages. So we call it willful conduct or default. Okay, but you don't need to go through that in details, but just understand that we do have this. So in order for you to know the techniques, so we have the owner and anyone else he is non-owner. We call them non-owner participants or NOPs. Why we do that? Because who's going to pay? The client. And who's going to be paid? These people. If they are behaving well, they will be paid on the top of the cost. They will be paid overheads and profit. If they don't behave, they will be only paid their fees. So we have some other techniques like, okay, how can we assume then what is the cost? You need to assume how much is your budget. You need to know what is the final budget later on. Then a difference, if it is in your advantage, this means that you have to share the gain. If it is less, that they have to share the pain. And the only pain that they share is their markup. Okay? So on what basis you will measure whether the project is successful or not? They have something called key result areas. So where you can agree on the bonus. So if we, like KPIs, if you achieve these areas, like on time, on budget, the quality and performance, everything is all right, you get the bonus. And the bonus is what? Something which is written in the agreement, 50-50, 70-30 sharing of the total profit of the project. You need to know these basics, okay? So when can you use Lansing? Any idea? So if the risks cannot be identified at an early stage of the project, Lansing would be a very good tool. You cannot identify risks. How can you select any procurement route? You need someone to collaborate with you to make sure that, okay, on the balance of probabilities, this is what we have, this is what we get. And the cost of transferring risks to the contractor will prohibit you of changing that. Say, for example, if you want the contractor to take the design risk and he asks you for 100 million to take that risk, definitely you will not transfer the risk and keep it with the designer, which will cost you 5 million maybe, right? So if you think that risk is going to be an issue, you do that as well. So if you want to start the project as soon as possible, but you are not sure about the brief, you're not sure about anything, you don't have information, you do that. You know what happened in Federation Square? The designer was very enthusiastic, they want to do the job, so they got the first package. It was in packages. So what they have done, they got the first package, right? And they sent that to site. Multiplex were also very active, so they did the work. Give me the next lot, the next package. No design, no information, no drawings, nothing. No construction drawings ever. And they were waiting. So what they have done, they were just sending RFIs, requests for information. This is what could go wrong if you don't have sufficient design that will enable you to start with the construction. So many problems with that project, and I think it's a very good area for you to go and investigate further. So we have so many other things, and from where I get the source, Victorian State Government has a very good website about alliancing, joint venturing, partnering, everything. So they have very good tools and guidelines how to do that effectively in public and capital projects.